The world's largest fish breeding area has been discovered in Antarctica. Up to 60 million nesting places. 500 meters below the ice covering the Weddell Sea in Antarctica. The world's largest fish breeding area has been discovered. Scientists estimate that in total there may be up to 60 million active nests in this area. Off the coast of Antarctica near the Filchner ice shelf in the southern Weddell Sea, scientists have stumbled upon the world's largest fish breeding area. A team aboard a research vessel used an underwater camera to spot thousands of nests of Neopagetopsis iona fish scattered across the seabed. The density of nests and the size of the entire area allowed scientists to estimate that there may be up to 60 million active nests in total in the study area. These findings support the idea of creating a marine protected area in this part of the Weddell Sea. A team led by Orton Purser from the Alfred Wegener Institute published their findings in the journal Current Biology. The discovery was made aboard the German research vessel Polarstern. Scientists studied the chemical relationships between surface waters and the seabed. Part of the research involved observing life on the seabed by slowly towing a device with cameras, sonar and other sensors behind a research vessel. The device recorded the image as it glided just above the ocean floor. In February last year, an underwater camera system recorded thousands of fish nests located on the seabed at a depth of 420 to 535 meters. The scientists were surprised. The longer they watched the video, the more nests they saw. A quick calculation showed that there was an average of one nesting place per 3 square meters. Although the researchers also found places where there were up to 2 active nests per square meter. By surveying the entire area, the researchers determined that the nesting area is around 240 square kilometers, roughly the size of Malta. The idea that such a huge fish breeding area in the Weddell Sea was previously undiscovered is absolutely fascinating, says Purser, a deep-sea biologist and lead author of the paper. Interestingly, the Alfred Wegener Institute has been exploring the area with the Polarstern icebreaker since the early 1980s. So far, only single nests or small clusters of Neopagetopsis iona nests have been detected here. From the images, the team of scientists was able to clearly identify the round nests, about 75 centimeters in diameter, which are clearly distinguished from the rest of the seabed by a sheath of small stones. Several types of nests were distinguished. Active, containing from 1,500 to 2,500 eggs and guarded in 3/4 of cases by an adult fish, nests containing only eggs, and unused nests, near which either an adult fish without eggs or a fish carcass could be seen. The scientists covered an area of 45,600 square meters. In underwater recordings, they counted a total of 16,160 nests. By mapping nest distribution and density with OFOBS, ocean floor observation and bathymetry system, sonars with longer range but lower resolution, they recorded more than 100,000 nests. Sockets. These findings and the size of the study area allowed the researchers to estimate that there are about 60 million active nesting sites in the area. A glance at the oceanographic and biological data allowed the researchers to determine that the newly discovered breeding area corresponds spatially with the inflow of warmer water from the Weddell Sea towards the shelf. Researchers also determined that this place is popular with seals, where they go in search of food. 90% of observed seal dives took place in the area of active nests. No wonder. Scientists estimate the biomass of the local colony at 60,000 tons. With its biomass, This huge breeding area is an extremely important ecosystem for the Weddell Sea and, according to current research, is probably the most spatially extensive fish breeding colony discovered so far in the world. Video games increase intellectual abilities in children. Children spend more and more time in front of the TV, smartphone, or computer screen. Researchers have studied how these habits correlate with the development of their cognitive abilities over time. They found that children who spent more time playing video games had higher IQs. There was no such effect when watching TV or browsing social media. Researchers from Karolinska Institutet in Sweden and Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam have studied in detail how habits related to staying in front of a computer or TV screen affect children's intelligence. These analyses show that video games can have a positive effect on cognitive abilities, contradicting the beliefs of some parents that video games are harmful to children. This research should prove useful in the debate over how much screen time is appropriate for young minds. The results were published in the journal Scientific Reports. More than 9,000 people participated in the survey. US boys and girls aged 9 and 10. Even before the start of the research, the children took a series of psychological tests so that the researchers could assess their general cognitive abilities. Children and their parents were also asked how much time they spend watching TV, playing video games and engaging in social media. 2 years later, 5,000 children from the first sample were subjected to further observations. They were asked to repeat tests assessing cognitive abilities, which allowed the results to be compared over time. Scientists this time also ordered genetic tests. They also checked the education and income of their parents. The results of the research showed that children spent an average of 2.5 hours a day watching TV, half an hour on social media and an hour playing video games. Those kids who played more than average had higher IQs. The difference between the first and second measurement 2 years later showed an average of 2.5 IQ points more. No significant impact, positive or negative, has been observed when it comes to watching TV or browsing social media. The increase in IQ points was based on children's performance on tasks that included reading comprehension, visual spatial processing, and tasks focused on memory, flexible thinking, and self-control. We haven't studied the effects of prolonged screen time on physical activity, sleep, well-being or school performance, so we can't say anything about that, says Torkel Klingberg, professor of cognitive neuroscience at Karolinska Institutet. But our results confirm that screen time generally does not impair children's cognitive abilities, and that playing video games can actually help increase intelligence. This is consistent with several other experimental studies on playing video games, he adds. The results are also in line with recent research showing that intelligence is not constant, but is influenced by various environmental factors. We will now study how these various environmental factors affect brain development in childhood, says Torkel Klingberg. One of the limitations of the study is that it only included children from the US and did not distinguish between different types of video games, making it difficult to translate the results to other countries with different gaming habits. Our most important finding was that games positively affected children's intelligence, with children who played more video games between the ages of 9 and 10 showing the greatest increase in intelligence 2 years later, the team wrote in the publication.